I hope you're doing well. Oftentimes we might ask the question, well, what all is in a name? Why are names so important? And today they've lost a lot of their meaning, and I'm not saying that's good or bad, but if you look at societies like the Hebrews or even the Greeks, they put a lot of emphasis on what they named their children. Different names had different meanings, and these names were very important to them. My name, for example, comes from the Greek Andreas, meaning man. It had great importance to the Greeks. It had great importance to the Jews, to the Hebrews, and to really a lot of other ancient civilizations. But today we don't think about it too much. But what are some names of Christ? What are some titles? What are some names that Christ has? From Matthew chapter 1 and verse 23 we read, "Behold, the virgin shall be with child and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel," which is translated, God is with us. We see from Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6, it says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. The government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." From John chapter 4 and verse 25, we see him called the Messiah, which means anointed one. In John chapter 1, we see that Jesus is called the Word. It says, "In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was Jesus." In John chapter 8 and verse 12, we see Jesus speaking here, and he calls himself, and he says, "I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." But in Acts chapter 11 and verse 26, we see that the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. Well, what does Christian mean? It comes from the Greek Christianos, meaning a follower of Christ. And that's all that Christians are, followers of Christ. So what's important about that name? We don't go by any other name. It's just simply Christian, just simply follower of Christ. That's all it is. So, if we want to call ourselves that, if we want to call ourselves Christians and say that we're following the Most High God, Jesus Christ, and that we believe that God is indeed with us, as His name states, then we have to live like it. What all is in a name? What all is in the name Christian? A follower of